I don't think I'm addicted, although I do feel pretty tired. These are 10 random things, completely uncorrelated, that I learned in the last week. Cheers. Mm. So, as many of y'all know, I ran a marathon and then I went to Washington for the week for business. In preparation for the marathon, I thought Powerade would save me, so I bought one of every color of Powerade and I drank 3 on race day, hoping that it would make a difference. Sorry, I think I forgot to show this one. Here's my ranking so far. Best one is grape. It actually tastes like what it's supposed to, you know? It's like grape juice, like diluted grape juice. Pretty good. I'd say in second place is this melon pineapple. I actually thought it was kind of a refreshing flavor. In third place, mixed berry. This one surprised me. I think this one is most people's favorite. Then in fourth place, and this one tastes like pineapple, to me at least. And the one I just drank today, orange, I'm gonna put it on fourth place. And I guess this one surprised me. I thought fruit punch would be last place. To me, it always kind of tastes like syrup, so it feels artificial to me. But in last place, I'm actually gonna put strawberry lemonade. It just tastes kind of like grapefruit juice and not strawberry lemonade. I guess this is all you can do without sugar. So to me, it tasted really awful. I learned that Gatorades did not help me during the race. After the 16th kilometer, no matter what I do, my muscle just, they're like, stop doing this or we're gonna assign you cramps. And I got assigned cramps and literally had to take 3 painkillers just to finish the stupid race. And it took 6.5 hours. Thanks to that, I got this very delightful tan. Like, it's horrible. Let me show this. But it makes sense if you're outside in the sun for 6.5 hours that you would develop a tan. I did not get burned though, surprisingly, which I have to thank my sunscreen for. So I guess one of my goals I'm doing okay on, right? So that was one thing I learned. The second thing I learned is that I hate layovers. I guess you'll see in tomorrow's video. But basically, in 7 days, I took 6 different flights, 3 to get there and 3 to come back. The part I could have saved was definitely the layover in Vancouver. That was really annoying to me because every time you lay over internationally, you have to go through security twice, and the walk between terminals is extremely long. Like, they have to kind of siphon you through the terminal as you have to avoid the like intermingling with other passengers, right? So half the time you're just getting routed to these tiny terminals. You know, this was one day after I did my marathon. I was hobbling like I was a cripple. My lesson that I learned is anytime that I have options to fly direct, in this case I did. If I just delayed the trip one day later, I should. Because layovers are a huge waste of time because they have to make sure that in case there are delays, you still make your original flight time, right? So I remember trying to come back from Seattle to Calgary took 6.5 hours. When if I had flown direct from Seattle to Calgary, it would have taken probably less than 2 hours to fly, you know? And yeah, that's a big lesson I learned for sure. Next up, the private jet experience. On my way from Vancouver flying over to Seattle, the flight was actually only 26 minutes and the flight was 25% full, so it really felt like I got the private jet experience, I'm not even gonna lie. It was a much smaller aircraft. I had plenty of space. I could literally pick wherever I wanted to sit. Didn't care about your bags. And you're doing roll call, and you know I'm always the last to board because I'm poor. But when I'm last place, they're like, "Oh, you must be," and they say my legal name, and I just feel kind of like VIP. You know what I'm saying? um, yeah, this must be how Taylor Swift and all the billionaires feel. You know, in private jets, the third thing I learned was they're low altitude. So my data worked the whole time I was flying over Washington State, over Seattle and stuff. So I'd be just chilling and texting all my friends as I'm in the air. And I was joking with one of my friends. I was like, it's like I have the router in the back of my hand. You know, I can just, I'm literally flying over and I have perfect connection, listening to music, just vibing, texting people. It was a chill time. All right, number 4. I stayed with someone, so I learned what a cast iron pan was, and it was really hard to use. I know you can season it, but I don't think I knew how to do it, so my food got stuck to it every time. I put butter, I tried lard, I tried seasoning. It would always get stuck whenever I left it a little bit too long. I just never got the hang of it. And they were a pain to clean. You can't use soap, and you have to use like this chain thing to like get all of the food particles off. And once you're done, you rinse with water and you put it back on the heat. And then you have to season it again. And then I forgot to turn off the stove, and the cast iron turned a different color. And that scared me because apparently they're expensive. I don't think I'm going to use cast iron pans to cook in the future. I'm going to stick to my non-stick as well. It was just very hard to use, and all my food ended up getting messed up because they'd be stuck to the pan. Like I made my famous, or like the dishes that I think I'm really good at for the person I was staying with, and every time it got messed up because of the cast iron pan. And that's all they use, so joke's on me, I guess. I learned that lesson. Number 5, I hate working from home. Washington State was, the weather was so nice. Like it was very sunny, almost to the point of California, but not as hot. But I felt really wrong because I'd be just sitting at home. There was AC, so I was comfortable, but it felt weird to just be inside while outside looked that nice. I think I want to go outside every single day. So the only time I got to go outside was when I made my post office runs to drop off my shipments. Other than that, I felt really weird just sitting at home. Like there's stuff to do, but it's like I was jealous. That's the best way to describe it. All right, number 6. I did CrossFit for the first time. You know, in the fitness industry, people always joke about CrossFit, you know, about the technique, about how they're hybrid athletes, which means they're just bad at both. I can see it from that side, but when I did the Echo bike, it pushed me to a point that I never felt like I'd be on the ground gasping for air for 15 minutes and felt like I was gonna pass out every single time. So yeah, I have newfound respect for CrossFit. They go hard. Like I definitely think you can incorporate both like a weightlifting routine as well as the cardio, so that it feels like you're combining them. I personally wouldn't do it like that because I feel like I would lift less weight, but it's a training style. I learned something new. All right. What am I? Number 7? Number 7, I went to Barnes and Nobles and got some books for my friend. I'll read you one of the synopsis. A hot one night stand and an unexpected pregnancy led a young woman to someone she can depend on, from the viral TikTok author of Next of Kin and Next to You. She only wanted one book, but I wanted to be nice, and I bought her whole wish list. The problem was now my bag was heavy, hella heavy, and these were super expensive. 3 books were like 60 USD. Convert that to Canadian, you're like 90 Canadian. So I hope she appreciates that. And yeah, apparently Barnes and Nobles carries books that what's the equivalent of a Canadian bookstore? Chapters wouldn't have. So yeah, whenever I go to the US, I guess I'll just bring some US exclusive things for my friends. All right, number 8. I went to a cannabis store and found out that they charge a hefty cannabis tax. Like a quarter of the final pricing was cannabis tax. Also, I had to be on camera, and they looked at my ID. No problems, but yeah, that was weird. Also, it's cash only, so I had to go there twice. I did not partake, but I went to it twice because the first time I didn't carry any USD. Like, why would I, right? I thought my card would just be accepted, but apparently not. On that note, I also learned that I look old because I also went to buy some alcohol, and they just did not ID me. Not even they didn't even try. Like they just let it slide, and I was almost offended. I was like, bro, do I look that old? But you learned something new. That was number 9. And the final thing, number 10, was that vaping doesn't do anything for me. And I was vaping, I think, 0.5. Apparently, it's pretty strong. I mean, going down, it hurt like crazy. And when I tried to hold it, I would cough every single time. But I think towards the end, I finally got the hang of it. But even when I did, I didn't, like, I got the mini rush you get a little bit. But I couldn't tell if that's because I was high. Not high, sorry, lightheaded or what. But generally, I was just like, yeah, this it's like breathing in flavored air. I don't feel like I'm gonna go bounce off the wall or anything. And apparently, it has side effects, but I also don't know what that is. Maybe I'll do some research and get back to you guys. But yeah, just I mean, tried vaping. I think it's like a cool fidgeting habit almost. Like you just instinctively like reach for your vape almost like you would cigarettes. I don't think I am addicted, although I do feel pretty tired. Though I can't tell if that's because I just flew back yesterday. These are 10 random things, completely uncorrelated, that I learned in the last week. I'm sorry this video is not structured that well, but as you can imagine, I had a lot of work piled up for me when I was gone, and my sleep schedule was not exactly great going into the trip or leaving the trip. I had to sleep on my friend's sofa yesterday and got destroyed by his CrossFit workout. So yeah, all around, yeah, I gotta do some R&R, even though I consider that trip my R&R in the first place. Just wanted to touch base with you guys, see how y'all doing. This is how I'm feeling. Hopefully, I can be back to normal after this week. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you next time. I am a bit pressed for time, so you're only gonna see clips of my gym sessions. So tomorrow will be the mega video that has the highlights of all my trip. And yeah, today I really needed a rest day because I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. So I hope you can understand. Just some workout content, you know? Yeah. See you guys tomorrow with a new video soon.